When you think of your child's development, what do you think about? Probably their crawling or walking milestone, maybe their feeding and dressing, or even their behavior. These are certainly among the popular topics when talking about child development and child milestones. But don't worry if you haven't got it all figured out just yet, because child development is complex. That's why today we are talking about some of the important milestones from birth to 12 months, such as when your baby is ready for solids, when will they start sitting with and without support, and when is your child ready to stack blocks and explore simple puzzles. Plus, I will be answering some FAQs at the end of this video, so make sure you stick around until then. Well, hi, and welcome back. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of baby development from birth to 12 months old. As parents or caregivers, it's essential to understand the milestones and expectations during the first year of your baby's life. Now, as a pediatric developmental therapist, I am in your homes daily teaching you about this very thing. So, if you're eager to learn more about your little one's growth and what to expect in their first 12 months, you've come to the right place. In the first 3 months of a baby's life, they experience some remarkable changes. Newborns rely heavily on their senses, and you'll notice them responding to different sounds, sights, and touch. Their vision is also still developing, so they are best able to see objects within 8 to 12 inches from their face. One way that you can stimulate their visual development is by using high contrast toys and placing them in different positions during tummy time. And if you want to know more about your baby's senses, I actually have a video right here, and it's called Sensory Adventures that you can watch after this video. I will go ahead and link to it in the description below as well. During the first 3 months, your baby will gradually be strengthening their neck muscles. So it's crucial to support their head and neck when holding them. Now, around 2 months, you might notice your little one holding their head up for a few seconds while on their tummy. Tummy time is an essential part of this stage of development, as it helps strengthen their neck and back muscles, preparing them for rolling and sitting milestones later on. And make sure you are providing plenty of supervised tummy time on a safe and flat surface. Also, at around 2 months, you might notice your baby starting to coo and make gurgling sounds, indicating their growing vocal abilities. They will also begin to socially smile, responding to your facial expressions and interactions with adorable smiles of their own. Okay, moving on to 4 to 6 months. Your baby is growing up, and you'll be amazed at your little one's increasing mobility. Many babies learn to roll over during this period, so make sure you give them plenty of supervised playtime on the floor, encouraging them to explore and move freely. This is such a fun milestone and exciting time for your baby. And around 4 to 5 months, your baby may start to support weight on their arms during tummy time, showing signs of pushing up and preparing to crawl. If your baby is not yet doing this, I actually answer a mom's question at the end of this video and give some tips on what to do if your baby is not bearing weight on their arms yet. Sitting with support is another exciting milestone during this stage. To make this easier for them, you can prop them up and have them surrounded by pillows or put a boppy around them. If you are interested in some of my favorite toys for babies and toddlers, I will go ahead and leave a link to that below. So these are the toys that I currently use in my practice, and I've also seen my therapist friends using as well. So go ahead and grab that link if you want to know what some of my favorite toys are for babies. Another really fun milestone that is happening around this time is that most babies are ready to start solid foods. Introduce single ingredient purees gradually, such as pureed fruits and vegetables, and observe their fun reactions to each new food. If you have chosen the baby-led weaning method, start with very small pieces of ripe avocado, eggs, well-cooked sweet potatoes, or carrots. Now remember that breast milk or formula will still be their primary source of nutrition until about 1 year of age. If your child is not interested in pureed foods, I answered a question at the end of this video that talks about why this might be happening. Okay, moving on to your 7 to 9 month old. Your baby is becoming more curious about the world around them. They might start to scoot or crawl at this age and explore everything in their path. It's an exciting time for both you and your little one. And I know you already know this, but I have to say it. It's the mom in me or the therapist in me. But at this age, make sure that your home is safe by baby proofing cabinets, covering electrical outlets, and securing furniture to prevent accidents. This step is crucial to your newly mobile little one who is on the go. Around 8 months, many babies can typically sit without support, providing them with a whole new perspective on their surroundings. This newfound independence is perfect for play and interactive games. So get down on the floor with your little one and play peekaboo or roll a ball back and forth. Also, during this stage, your baby's babbling will likely increase, and they may imitate some simple sounds. You can encourage their communication by responding to their vocalizations and introducing new words during playtime. Okay, from 10 to 12 months, your baby's development will skyrocket. Many babies will begin to pull themselves up to stand and begin cruising along furniture. This is such an exciting time for both you and your little one, who's not so little anymore. Some little ones may even take their first steps independently around this age, but remember, not all babies start walking at the same time. So don't worry if your little one takes a bit longer. In the world of milestones, the range for walking is 10 to 18 months. Most of the time, a child will be walking by 15 months. If you have a child that walked around 16 months, 17, or the 18-month mark, I would love for you to comment below and let us know if there was an underlying reason for this and if they were behind in some of their other milestones, such as crawling. I would love to hear from you. At 10 months, language development is starting to really progress during this stage. Little ones can understand simple instructions such as wave bye-bye or come here. Keep talking and reading to them to foster their language skills even further. Around 12 months, you will see some amazing purposeful play come alive in your little one, such as stacking blocks, stacking cups, or completing simple, chunky puzzle pieces. If you want to see some of the puzzles that are my favorites, I have a link below that you can click on and you can explore all of my favorite puzzles. These are excellent activities to improve motor skills and eye-hand coordination. And encouraging your little one to explore and manipulate these toys will help to support their cognitive development as well. Well, I hope that was helpful as we discussed some of the important milestones from birth to 12 months. Is there more to cover? Yes, we have so much to talk about, but here in a minute, I'm going to answer those questions that I promised. But before I do, if you are enjoying my content or know of a mom that would benefit from these types of informational videos, please subscribe to my channel and share the video link with her. You can find the link in the address bar on your computer or the share button right under this video. Okay, now for the questions. Rosalind wrote in and asked, my 5-month-old daughter is not putting weight on her arms during tummy time. Will this just come with time or should I be doing something different? Thanks, Rosalind. Okay, well, Rosalind, if your daughter is at the beginning stages of her tummy time journey, she may need help actually getting into the tummy time position. You can do this by tucking her arms underneath her or placing her chest on a boppy. So imagine her chest on a boppy with her arms underneath her. If your daughter is brand new to tummy time, she will probably tolerate being on her tummy with her arms under her on a boppy pillow. Another great idea would be to have her lay on your chest so she can look up at you and she can start to work on that arm strength. Your face will actually be mesmerizing to her and it might motivate her to bear weight on her arms. Another thing you can do is while she's laying on the floor in the tummy time position, you can lay in front of her so she will have to look up at you. And you can also place a mirror in front of her and toys just in front of her out of reach, which will entice her to bear weight on her arms as she pushes up to look at the toys. Now, Rosalind, I don't have a lot of details from the question that you asked, but some things I want you to watch out for in this area would be to make sure your daughter's muscle tone doesn't feel too floppy or too stiff, and make sure she's not favoring one side of her body over the other, such as tilting her head to one side more frequently than the other side, or actually turning her head to one side but not the other. If you do notice floppiness or stiffness, I would consult your pediatrician just to rule out something such as torticollis. If you notice your daughter's head tilting to the left side more than the right side, or if you notice that she is favoring looking to the left instead of the right side, then put toys on the side that your child is not favoring, so she has to look at the other side. She has to look the other way. Now, if your daughter is in a crib with a mobile or something on one side that she always looks at, make sure you either move the mobile to the other side or turn your daughter around. Well, Rosalind, I hope that helps, and thank you for asking your question. Okay, so the next question, we have one more. My baby is 6 months old and won't eat pureed foods. I really thought he would enjoy them, but he spits them out and turns his head. What can I do? Thanks, Savannah. Okay, Savannah, I am totally picturing your little one turning his head with those refusals. I can see it. Okay, so you've introduced pureed foods to your little one, and he's not quite sure about his new experiences yet. So the first thing I want you to do is not force the issue. Instead, I want you to put a little bit of what you are trying to give him to eat on his tray and let him feel it, explore it, and eventually taste it. Believe it or not, our tactile senses have a lot to do with our oral sensory component. So allowing your son to touch and explore his food is going to be very beneficial. Is he going to get messy? Yes. Are you going to be okay with it? I hope so. I know how some of you mamas are with messes and messy children. And yes, I'm talking to you. Another thing you can try with your little one is the baby-led weaning method. I mentioned this briefly above, but if you're interested in seeing a video on this specific subject, please comment below and let me know. But essentially, you would give him really tiny pieces of ripe avocado, very well-cooked carrots and sweet potatoes, and let him be in charge of his food through tactile exploration and putting it up to his own mouth, similar to the pureed option I gave you above, but with small, almost melt-in-your-mouth bite-sized pieces of food. As he becomes a better and even stronger eater, you can introduce new foods and different textures. So the second thing I would question is your baby ready for pureed foods? I'm assuming that he was born full term, but if not, then we need to take prematurity into account. For example, if your child was born prematurely, we would adjust for prematurity up until 12 months. So if your little guy was born 4 weeks early, he is really only 5 months old instead of 6 months. So if that is the case, I would wait another month and then reintroduce the foods again. A few other signs that your little guy is ready to start solids, I would ask yourself, is he able to sit with support? Can he hold his head up and steady and has enough head control? And is he interested in food? You might even catch him looking at you while you are eating. Now, if you answered yes to the feeding readiness questions that I asked above, then I'm sure it's just a matter of putting some food on his tray and allowing him to explore it on his own. However, the therapist in me has to mention this. If he is choking, gagging, or vomiting while eating, I would definitely consult your pediatrician just to make sure there isn't any underlying medical issue. Or if it is a food aversion type issue, then he may actually need to see a feeding therapist or occupational therapist. Okay, I know that was a lot of information to take in, and we've only begun to peel back the layers of child development. If you have a question for me, I would absolutely love to hear from you. Just comment below. And if you have a child between the ages of birth and 36 months, and you would like access to me, a pediatric developmental therapist, on a daily basis, I would love for you to consider joining the Milestone Mom Academy. It is a low monthly cost, so no matter what your financial situation is, you can get daily guidance with your child's milestones from an expert in the field. That link will be below as well, or you can go to milestonemom.com to sign up. And as always, I appreciate you, and I will see you soon.